Hello and welcome to a CBK Gaming review video. Join us as we discuss and review Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game by Flying Frog Games. So, what is Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game? Well, it's a 2 to 8 player game set in the pulp fiction of the 1920s, 1930s, trying to find artifacts around the world before either your opponents, the other players, do, if you choose competitive, or the other teams, if you choose team-based competitive, or the chosen villains of the piece, which in this case can either be the mobsters or the Nazis. All these have different permutations of gameplay and different styles of game. So this is a very large game. Its price point in England at the moment is between £70 and £100. So let's delve straight into the components and what we think, what you actually get with the game. And you get a lot. It's a huge box. There are some surprising things inside the box. There's a CD which contains music for your characters and situations, which is suitably thematic and pulp. There are very good quality plastic coins and figures, miniatures. There are a glut of dice. This is a dice throwing game. There are hundreds of cards. There is a beautifully printed map and a large number of characters to choose from. There has to be, if you're going to have 8 players, there has to be a number of options. There are a lot of little components. So overall, what you actually get for your money here, I think, yes, it can be a bit steep at £100, but that the lower end of that, the 70 mark, you're getting a lot of game for your money. And I would, out of our normal scoring of 10, I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the sheer volume of mass of what you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I certainly would. I'd actually go to a 9 for me, because having played this a number of times, we haven't got to the end of a deck, whether it's been the event cards, the villain cards, the items. We haven't run out and had to reshuffle and go again. And so to me, that shows that there is a lot of content. They've thought about it for the volume of players there are going to be, unlike other games where we've played maximum players and we've run out of cards, we've had to reshuffle, we've run out of tokens on some, and we've had to bring other tokens from other games. We haven't had that in this game yet.
I think the other thing to say is it's very finely balanced. I think they've actually just got the right amount of cards. It has to be said, we do have the couple of expansions that they've done, and there's a new one coming out as well, or is out. I've not checked yet. Lair of the Spider Queen, I think. And I think that moves swiftly on to the quality. One of the most beautifully printed games I think we own. The card stock is the characters, as you'll see on the screen now. They're photographic. They're beautifully done. They're very pulp and big moustaches and large rifles. The cards themselves are all very good quality. Some of the best quality cards I think we've got in any of the games we have.
Definitely.
The print is beautifully written. The map is well done. The miniatures, it's not a miniature game. It comes with miniatures, but as you'll see now on the screen, they do their job. It's fine. the coins and the glory, I think, is referred to, and the actual fortune. Again, very well done, well made. I do wish we'd have less plastic. It would be nice to have either real metal coins, as we've seen in a number of other games that we have, or something else, glass or something to represent perhaps the fortune or the glory.
But what I like as well is on the board, you get major cities and minor cities. Now all the logos for the minor cities are the same generic symbol, but every major city across the entire world has actually got pictures that are symbolised to that city. So New York has the Statue of Liberty, London has Big Ben.
Yeah,
they've done it for every major city on the map, and I just think that's a nice extra little sort of detail that's gone into the board, and it's little bits like that really raise the standard on this game.
Yeah, I think it's a very well done game, and the quality is I cannot knock it. To me, it has to be a 10.
Yeah,
it is that good a quality.
Yeah, definitely. They really have put work into this game.
Yeah. So, moving on to gameplay. Now, as I've mentioned, there's multiple game variants in this, and some of it can be cooperative or it can be competitive. They're all fun, and they are all different enough that you can find different enjoyment from each type. But I think you have to enjoy a random game. This is all about luck. It's about throwing the die, and a 5 or a 6 are a success. And you have to push your luck mechanic. So as a test comes up, if you require 5 successes and you roll 1, you continue to roll the dice until you either pass it and get those 5 successes, or you fail. In which case you flip the card over, and that's your cliffhanger. And they are hilarious. They are the thing of Pulp Fiction, where you might be in a car chase in the Himalayas, or you might be on a German submarine in the Sahara, or stalking a German tank in the Amazon. All things that have happened in our games. And it's that storytelling that makes this game. It is not a game that you can sit down and just ignore other people's go. And I know some people do that, and fair play if that's how you enjoy your games, but that is not, you will not enjoy this. This game, you have to be invested in the other player's story, even if you're playing competitively. Especially as there's some cards that you can make to make their go harder, or take away some of their victories, or make something a retest. You have to be heavily invested in the whole story. Not only that, it's a long game. We are looking at 3, 4, 5 hours. The more people that you have involved, the longer that game is going to be. And looking at that objectively, I really enjoy this game. I like the storytelling of the game. I have friends that really stormed out, didn't want to play it anymore. And I think this can be, in a very British term, a Mummite game. You either love it or you hate it. And I think for that reason, I have to give it a 6 out of 10. There are, personally, it would score a lot higher. But I think looking at it objectively, looking at the way that there are some points of frustration, it is all luck based. The gameplay, it's not complex. No. It's quite easy, but there is a lot to do. There are a lot of different cards. You've got location cards, you've got city cards, you've got gear that you can buy, you've got allies that you can get, you've got villains that you might fight against, there's monsters that you might fight against. There is a lot going on, and it requires a Sunday afternoon and some good friends and just while away the hours. That's what we've done. And this game comes out when we just want a bit of silly fun. We might have watched Indiana Jones, we might have watched The Mummy, any of those sort of films. Sit down then, a couple of drinks, some snacks on the table, come back and go and have dinner, and then come back, finish it. The whole thing is about the journey.
It certainly is. You're right with that, because we've played sometimes, unlike other games where your turn can last a minute, the next person's a minute, the next person's a minute. Mine's lasted 30 seconds before, because I've gone for a challenge, I've completely missed it on the dice, and I'm into an instant cliffhanger, which you wait until your next turn to resolve. The next player has had the best roll of the dice, and their go has kept going and going and you're talking 5-10 minutes because they're doing that well. So you do have to be invested in them, because my turn's over until it goes around the table. But watching their story develop, where they were in the jungle and then they found the temple, and oh no, there's a trap, and can they succeed and get through into the middle of the temple, and then they had a broken bridge inside a temple, and it's just learning the story as they go makes the game for me. But I agree, other people would get sort of bored or frustrated if their go doesn't come around quick enough. And I'd agree with you on the scoring.
This is one of the games that, down the pub with our friends, talking about games that we've played or what we've done, and Chris will regale us with the story of when he got on board a Nazi Zeppelin and crashed it and stole all their gold. We've got a number of friends who that's it. I did this, we did this, and it generates quite a lot of that quite fun and quite funny stories that you have to tell of your hobby. So what do you give it score wise for gameplay?
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with the 6, because even though personally I do love it, we do, as you said, we have to be a sort of step back from it, and
we also have to. The rules are not brilliantly written. I will say that as well. There's some interpretation and flicking backwards and forwards. They could have set it out a little bit better as well.
Yeah.
So that takes us on to complexity, and at the root of this game, it's not very complex, but there is a lot to do and a lot to juggle, and invariably I think people forget things, and actually that's all right. This game, it's that story. I like to get it right. I like to make sure I try to get it right. Fail every now and again with this game. It's a game we do play with some regularity, and I still forget something, and I have to remember.
I mean, the way it plays, it starts off at the beginning of the round, and everyone rolls to see how far they can travel on the map. Then everyone moves for where they're going to move on the map.
Initiative.
Who
goes first?
And then
as well.
And then the first player gets to have their go. And I think because you're so used to, I have my go, you have your go, it goes around the table, that when you've got back round, you forget that everyone's then got to do the movement and the initiative. And I think that's where
there can be some jarring. The way that it's worked out can be jarring, but it's not overly complex. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for its complexity. As we say, the rule book isn't particularly well laid out, but it's easy to work out. You do need to spend some time with it, and hence why I lowered the gameplay score. Fun factor, and I think we both are going to score this quite highly. So that, as you've probably seen in the way that we're talking about this is a great fun game to play. It's a great game to crack out on a Sunday. You probably won't have time to play any other games. This will take up a lot of time, but you'll get so much from it. You'll be rewarded with a silly story and hilarious outcomes to things that you had no control over. The dice just weren't in your favour. Just don't take it seriously. It's not that. I personally don't think this game is as good competitively compared to cooperatively, because I think the story that you all generate, you're much more invested in than competing against one another.
Yeah.
That can be a laugh too, but because it's so random and it's luck based, I just think the cooperative makes it a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I do really enjoy this game, and it's because there isn't a story that's going to be told. You're discovering the story as you go, and it's getting made up as you go, because the cards are random as well. And the fun factor is it's a solid 9.
Yes, I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That brings us to the overall score, and personally I think it's a great game. It's good fun. You can hear from us that we've really enjoyed it, gameplay wise, and looking at how that works out. I think the score isn't as high as it could be. I think you've got to either really enjoy this game, or, as I said, you either love it or you hate it. And for me, that sort of knocks some points on the overall score. So for me, this is a 7 out of 10. It's a good game if you enjoy these random games, dice throwing games, and story, just investing yourself in that story. If you don't enjoy that, you're not going to like this game, and actually I wouldn't waste your time or your money on it. If it's something you think you'd actually enjoy and you don't mind those elements, jump right in, have a laugh with your friends. I think you'll really enjoy it. You can play it solo. You can play it solo against the villains. I haven't tried that. I don't think I'd enjoy that, because this game is about that story, and yes, you'd still get it to a lesser effect, but seeing people's faces and having a laugh around the table, that's what this game is for, in my opinion.
I mean, it's the laughter of when the pilot does a flying test and fails.
Yes.
You need everyone around the table laughing with you as you plummet to your death on the cliffhanger.
And the turn before the novelist flew perfectly.
Yes.
Yes. I think, as I say, our friend Ken, the Greek scholar, really enjoys this game because he likes dropping Nazis off around the world.
He did, everywhere he went, he found a secret base.
He did. Or, well,
he was creating them, really.
He was dropping the Nazis off in the Zeppelin, that he was following him around. He said it was nothing to do with him. And then we had obviously Chris, who took the Zeppelin down, sneaked aboard the Zeppelin,
and got all the gold.
Yeah,
as he points out.
Jamie, the pilot who couldn't fly. There's so many little stories. Tanya, the mechanic who just kept waking up in Buenos Aires after she got punched out by a monster, a zombie, a member of the Crimson Hand. The poor lady was yes, didn't have a good but she was laughing. And there are not many games that get you that make you laugh even though you're doing terribly. So yeah, it's a good fun game. Well, I think there you have it. That is Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game. We hope you've enjoyed this. We really enjoy making these videos, and we're trying to change the format and learning from what people have said and some of the comments that people have given. Can't do anything about the beard though. But if you would like to see something reviewed, if you'd like an opinion on something, please just leave a comment in the details below. And if you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing. It does mean a lot to us. We really want to build this channel up and bring our passion of board games and this hobby to a wider audience. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.